So now the challenge for America's armed forces is implementing the Defense Department's new policy. Some women have already joined the U.S. Army in combat roles. CCTV's Hendrik Sybrandy joins us now live.
Well, Rochelle, last week, the Defense Secretary Carter approved the final plans from the various military service branches and the U.S. Special Operations Command to open combat jobs to women. He authorized that process to begin right away. In fact, that process has already been underway on the margins here over the past couple of months. He said he expects this to be a very gradual integration, but here in Colorado, we're seeing that some female soldiers have begun to sign up. It was a quiet afternoon recently at the U.S. Army recruiting station in Fort Collins, Colorado. Very quiet.
You know, it just feels like the general public has got a little bit of a disconnect with the military. I think it's 10 years at war. I think it's kind of just how things have been going.
In December, U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter expanded the menu of career options that military recruiters could offer.
Women will now be able to contribute to our mission in ways they could not before.
An additional 220,000 combat-related jobs, mostly in the U.S. Army and Marines, in a dozen military occupational specialties, or MOSSs, are now available to women. Good timing for future combat engineers Thelma Agno.
When I went in to pick an MOS and that was available, I was actually quite excited.
And Fauzi Mustafa.
The fact that the option came up, I thought it was incredible, and it was more like a powerful role to take, and that's why I actually chose combat engineering.
The face of the U.S. military is changing. 5 years ago, gays and lesbians were allowed to serve openly for the first time. Now that opportunity has been extended to female tank drivers, infantry soldiers, and Navy SEALs.
For the females who weren't able to do those jobs before, I think it's extremely exciting. Opening that up does open up some more leadership opportunities for officers or senior NCOs to be able to lead guys and gals into actual battle.
Agno and Mustafa say combat isn't what caused them to enlist, but they believe women are fully capable of doing what men do.
Most of the time, it's really just go with the flow, do what you need to do. If there's a task that needs to get done, you do it.
I don't feel like your gender should hold you back from doing any job. We're all human, we can do it.
It'll be a while before the U.S. military makes the changes needed to fully incorporate women into combat roles.
Housing, latrines, everything, even just standard operating procedures.
It should!
But at a time when an improving U.S. economy pulls qualified applicants away from the armed forces, recruiters have a new incentive as they try to convince women in particular to join. Now, so far, the number of women going into combat positions has been pretty modest. Of course, it's very early days. The recruiting station here in Denver says this is not going to be a game changer, but it'll be a different world for them for sure as they vet a lot of these recruits, potential recruits coming in to their place of work. Rochelle?
Now, Hendrik, with that being said, is there a particular way that the military plans to fill these combat jobs?
Well, they're doing a lot of things. They put a lot of thought into it. Obviously, the Army and Marine Corps will integrate female officers and senior enlisted women into these units that were previously closed to them. They will integrate junior enlisted women a little bit later than that. They hope to put multiple women into units at a time. They're also trying to develop more female leadership in these combat units as well. They think it'll work better that way. They're trying to tighten up their training requirements. Some of those are pretty outmoded. They're also administering physical assessment tests to everybody. They're kind of overhauling that to keep up with the times. So there are a lot of different changes. A lot of them are going to be rolled out over time. This is going to be a process. It's not something that's going to change overnight. Rochelle?
Right. Still a work in progress. Thank you very much, Hendrik Sybrandy. They're live for us in Denver.